Hi everyone! So today I'm going to show you how to use the Forjery design template so you can make sure that your jewelry is appropriately designed so that it prints perfectly. So first off, we're just going to go through what is on this template and what you can use these things for. So obviously we have the two boxes where you can appropriately size your designs in here with our different pendant and earring sizes, which goes from the 15 millimeters up until the 50 millimeters. And then you have the tools down here, which will have things that you can click and drag to make sure that the width of your cutouts are wide enough so that they do not break when they are printed, and also that your engraving lines are wide enough so that they actually show up on your piece when they're printed. And then the bottom just shows you the basic instructions for kind of how to use this design template. So first off, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to insert your design into the layer files that we have here on the right. So we're going to use a forgery gem here, which is going to be an engraved piece. As you can see, it's got the engraved layer on the top and the cut layer on the bottom. You're always going to want to make sure that those are two separate layers throughout the process. So first off, we're just going to copy it on over to in here. And then we are going to pull both of them up into the box. So here you can choose what size you would like your piece to be. Let's say that we would like this to be at 40 millimeters. So we would take it to this inside, this most outward dashed line, and resize it. And you're going to want to make sure that you center it on this center line here. Now that we have that done, we are going to make sure that we can check the widths of everything. So we're going to turn off the engrave and we're going to check the cut layer first to make sure that the widths are okay so that your piece does not break if it's too thin. So to check your cut layer, you're going to be using these 2 millimeter boxes to make sure that anything between your cutouts and like the edge of your design or in between your cutouts is not too thin. It can be wider than this, but you just got to make sure that it is not any thinner than this 2 millimeter box. So as you can see, you just click and you drag it on over. You can check all of your lines. You can Command T or Control T to rotate and make sure that everything within your cutout is bigger than this 2 millimeter box. So it looks like everything is pretty good here. So we're done with checking. So the cut layer looks good. Next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to check your engrave layer to make sure that all the lines are wider than this 0.33 millimeter line. If you have lines in your design that are smaller than this 0.33 millimeter line, there is a chance that they will not show up correctly when they're printed. So try to make sure that your design has at least 0.33 millimeter lines in it if you are getting an engraving. So again, you can just drag and drop this line over to check your engraving lines. All of these look pretty good. They're all pretty much substantially thicker than this line. So you checked your engraving, looks good. Also, just as a note, this design that I have is already in the right colors, but when you're creating your designs, you're going to want to make sure that your cut design layer is this color, and you're going to want to make sure that your engravings are black. So the last piece of this is adding the bails. So you can just send us this and we will add the bails for you. But if you want to control the shape and the size and the location of your bails, you're going to want to use the pre-made bails in here. So let me show you how you can do that. So for this design, I think I am going to add, as in the mock-up examples over here, just add a small circular bail at the very tip top. So we're actually going to have to select our design again because the bail does have to fall within the boxes. And then we're going to drag on over the bail that I want, and we're going to put it onto the top. Make sure that you are aligning to the top as much as possible and aligning to the center line here, especially if you're doing single bail, so that your piece is properly balanced. One thing that you will have to check, especially if your bail is merging with the edge of your design, or you choose one of these half circles instead, you want to make sure that the space in between the hole inside is the minimum hole size. So for this, I don't have to check it because I put it far enough up that the minimum hole size is already there. The hole size can be bigger, it just cannot be any smaller than this. And so you'll want to check and make sure, drag and drop this over in case, let's say that you ended up taking this further down into it. So let's say you did something like that, that would not be wide enough because it doesn't, as you can see, it doesn't have that full minimum width size. If you are choosing to do dual bails, you'll have a little bit more flexibility in where you want to put them. But for right now, we are just covering single bails. Another thing to note, and it shows the instructions here as well, if you decide that you would like your bail hole to be inside the design itself, you can just take the bail, put it over the top of your cutout layer, use the magic wand tool on the left here, select the inside of the bail, and then make sure that you click on your cut layer and delete the hole from the center of your design. If you are choosing to do a little bit more of a custom bail look, just make sure that you follow the guidelines for the minimum and maximum distances that the bail hole can have to the edge of the design. The bails are already designed with these widths in mind, but if you end up using a unique bail, you can use these boxes here to make sure that your bail hole is more than 1.45 millimeters away from the edge of the design, as you can see there, and it is not more than 2 millimeters away from the edge of the design. And just a tip over here, well, we're going to do our best to catch any problems that might be in your designs. The best way that you can make sure that your jewelry is the best quality is to send samples to yourself before you send to your customers. I think that is pretty much it for this design tutorial. So the last thing you're just going to do is you're going to save your file. So what you're going to do is you're just going to get rid of all of the other layers that is not your design, and then you will save and name your file as usual. Thank you all so much. If you have any questions or concerns or having troubles, you can reach out to us on Facebook or Instagram, or you can email us at support@forjery.com.